everyone, Becky checking in from Virginia. I am at a retreat for a couple days. It has to do with my full-time job and the grant, the mental health block grant, one of my major grants that my program operates under. My program operates under 3 grants. We also have some funding streams through billing and such, but my big grant is a mental health block grant, and so I come to retreat every year to meet up with folks from around the state who are on the same grant and who have similar programs in peer support and peer support services. But I'm going to talk today about a training I went to yesterday from an internship, which was on emergency custody orders and temporary ECOs, as they're called, and temporary detention orders, and a little bit just about the difference and what the process is in this short 5 minutes, if I can get some of this in. So an emergency custody order, that's an order that can be triggered by maybe a family member calling in because they have concerns about a loved one that is exhibiting symptoms and they feel they meet the criteria, and I'll talk about the criteria in a minute. Or a law enforcement officer might come across someone on the street who is maybe, someone called in and their behavior seems erratic or something. They encounter them on the street and they may take them into custody to receive treatment. Or maybe they're already receiving services at a mental health care, agency, and they call in they may call law enforcement to have the person taken into custody because they feel they meet the criteria to be taken in on an emergency custody order. Or they're arrested, and before taken to jail, they may think that it's not really arrest due to criminal intent, but maybe mental health symptoms that are presenting. And so once a person is taken into custody on an emergency custody order, it's usually law enforcement that will do this. They get the person in front of a mental health professional, which is in our agency, it's the emergency services therapist who is called, and I work with that team in my last internship. And they have to evaluate if forms their expert opinion and provides testimony as to whether the person needs hospitalization or treatment. And so what happens in this case, it's the law enforcement officer, family member, friend, or any other person contacts the magistrate and you have to request this from the magistrate, so you have to find whatever county you're in, find out the magistrate on duty. We have a list of numbers, and so if we're on a crisis line or something and one of these calls comes in, we put this procedure in motion. And so once it's determined, there's a lot of steps that have to take place. The criteria for when a magistrate or law enforcement officer can initiate emergency custody order: the person has to have mental illness, they have to suffer harm, it's believed that they will, either substantial likelihood they will cause harm to themselves or others, or they've already suffered serious harm due to dangerous behavior, and so it's considered that they need hospitalization or treatment. And the person, and no consent is needed by the person, and that's where in our state it differs from a temporary detention order, where someone can actually feel symptoms coming on, feel sick, and feel they need to admit themselves, and that's how they would be admitted. Once all this criteria is met, they are taken to usually a hospital where you have to be medically cleared. In Virginia, actually I have to hurry up. In Virginia, we have 8 hours to get someone into the hospital, so it's pretty hard for the therapist to make all this happen in 8 hours, because usually the whole hospital process can take 4 hours, and you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork and send it to the magistrate, send it to the hospital, and get them cleared, make sure they have insurance that the hospital will take, etc. I guess I've run out of time. I don't know how many of you out there have worked with emergency custody orders or temporary detention orders, or have had to maybe alert someone to take care of someone that had to be put into custody. But if you had an experience, I'd like to hear from you, and you have a great week.